I'll do 2 pieces.
Did I give you? All right. When? Welcome, Label Ben Moshe Blutman. Thank you. Let's see. Wait. Label, 1 second. I have to unmute you. I'm sorry.
Wait.
I think you have to ask. You have to label. You have to
label.
unmute. You have to unmute yourself. I can't unmute you.
We can't hear you.
Label. You have to unmute yourself. Label. I'm not able to unmute you.
How's this?
There you
Good.
go.
Very good.
Okay. Here we go again. Something. Lyrics by King Solomon.
1 second.
Words by
Label. If you're talking to me, Label. 1 second. Label.
Yeah. Okay. Ani Ladaidi Lee. I am to my love as my love is to me. That's from the Song of Solomon.
Yeah.
And we call him Father, and we call him King. And we love his kindness, because he gives us everything. And he calls us children, this holy nation. And he loves our praises, and that's why I'm singing. I need the dirty lead. I am to my love as my love's to me. I need the dirty lead. I am to my love as my love to me. And we call him mighty, and we call him wise. And we know he's watching, loving eyes. And he knows our weakness and our helplessness, but he always answers when he hears our cry. When he hears I cry, I need joy, I am to my love as mine. and he gives us the Torah, and he gives us the land. He says to redeem us, each one by hand. And all he's asking us to do, me and you, is to love one another. Do you think we can? And if you think we can, you know we could bring Mashiach. La 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 la. La 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 la. La. I need a tidy.
Thank you, Label.
You're quite welcome.
Havdalah. Hmm? Somebody else is waiting. We had problems in shul getting the fire lit as well. This is something in the air today. Hine el yishutiyatahu lo echad ki ozi b'zimrat yad Adonai v'hi Yeshua shafte mayim b'sason minei Yeshua l'Adonai ha-Yeshua alamecha b'chatecha sela Adonai tzvot imanu miskav lanu he'yakov sela Adonai tzvot asher enu b'teach bach Adonai Hoshia ha-melech yaneinu v'yom koreinu La Yudim Haitor Simcha V'Samika Kain Tielanu Kos Yeshuot Tesa Uv'Shem Adonai Ekra Sabrei Marinan Rabbanan Rabotai Ruchata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Borei Pri HaGofen Ruchata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Borei Minei B'Samim Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechoshech ben Yisrael la'amim b'yom hashvi l'sheshet yimei hamaseh. Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Good Shavua Tov again to everybody. So when Abraham questions God about his future, Hashem promises Abraham that his descendants will be numerous, his descendants will be like the stars in the sky. What does that mean? There is a story told about Rabbeinu Bechai, scholar, rabbi, community in Spain. And he had the conversation with the king of Spain. And the king said to him, you know, I know that the Jews study Torah, but besides to that, there's no difference between Jews and non-Jews. And Rabbeinu Bechai did not agree with him. He said, no, there are certain components about the Jewish soul that are unique. And the king didn't accept it, and he said to him, you know, one day I will prove to you that I am right. Shortly after that conversation, the king went under great secrecy into a Jewish neighborhood and actually confiscated a newborn Jewish boy. The mother protested greatly. Nobody came to her defense against the king. The king compensated her financially, if we could use the word compensated, gave her finances, promised that the child would be well taken care of, would be brought up in his palace. The parents could not come to see him or to establish any kind of contact, but when the child would reach age 20, he will be given the option to return to his family if he so chooses. The next day, the king went to a different part of the region and he confiscated a non-Jewish baby. And he went through the same thing with the mother, giving compensation and telling her 20 years, the child can come back home if he so wishes. 18 years after those days, and just a little bit more than 18 years since that conversation, the king lets Rabbeinu Bachai know that he wants to continue the conversation of 18 years ago, and he was pleased to come to the palace the next day. He summoned his advisors as well to the special court. They didn't know why they were being summoned. And he had these two young men, each 18 years old. Those men were raised like twins. They ate together, they played together, they were tutored together. Their whole lives, they were very bonded with each other. The king had each of them given identical haircuts the morning before this summoned meeting, and he dressed them in identical fashion. And he sat them down and he said to Rabbeinu Bachai, these two children, one of them is Jewish born, one is not Jewish. We're going to test the theory. My theory, is that there should be no difference detectable. You hold a different theory. You can ask them whatever you want. And then you tell me which one is Jewish. So Rabbeinu Bachai said, with great respect to the king, does the king have any grapes? He says, of course. In the king's palace, we have everything. And he summons the waiter and comes in with a tray of grapes. And Rabbeinu Bachai says, please, to the 18-year-old men, please help yourself to grapes. So one takes a cluster of grapes, and one takes a few of the grapes that were separated. And Rabbeinu Bachai is ready immediately, without asking any question, based upon the choice that each young man made. He knows who is Jewish, and he says, give you another few seconds just in your own mind to come to your answer. He says to the king, the first one who took the cluster of grapes, he is Jewish. The king is amazed. He's right. Because how did you know that? He says, because a Jew always looks for the group, is concerned about the community. And the Abarbanel, in a similar fashion, applied this to the stars in the sky. When Hashem promised Abraham that his descendants would be like the stars of the heaven, he wasn't speaking there in terms of numbers. He was speaking in terms of a quality. That in the daytime, we don't see the stars, but they're there. But when it gets dark, which means when there's a difficult time, darkness is a symbol of difficulty. But when it's dark, the stars are all there, and they're shining, and they're giving light, and they're a group of stars. And that's who we are as Jews. That's our special capacity, that when the going gets rough, we put aside any differences that we might have, and not justifying machlokas, but any machlokas that we might have, and we all bond together to support one another. And that's part of the quality that we inherit from Avraham Avinu, Avraham our patriarch. May we all follow in Abraham's footsteps. A good Vach to everybody. It's good to see you all.
And he didn't make that speech because we're voting on Tuesday. Or maybe he did already.
Yeah, well, it's very, very important to seize the opportunity to exercise a great privilege of voting in this country. That is for sure. Elections, especially lately, tend to bring out, a lot of dispute between people. We know that elections around the world, unfortunately, in the last several years, have been very close in many countries. Not only the U.S., Israel, Great Britain, and probably some others as well. But hopefully Hashem will bless us all. We all look forward to good news. Please take the opportunity to wish each other. You have to unmute yourselves.
We did. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov, Frida, Mark.
That's so much here to you.
And thank you all.
Yeah, thank you again, Label, for your music. Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Orange, Shavua Tov. Keith and
Hi,
Judy,
Dallas.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Oh, Andre, Shavua Tov. Who are you, Andre? And
Nice to see you in my magic mirror.
can't hear. You're muted.
You're muted.
Muted.
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yeah, now we can.
Yeah. Andres and Dina, we are, I am the daughter of Label and Masha.
Oh, wow, welcome.
Very nice.
Yeah. And this is my husband, Andres.
Okay, great, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Where are you? Where do you live?
We live in New Jersey.
Oh, in New Jersey. Wow.
We've heard of that place. Shavua Tov. Ron, you gave us a view of yourself briefly.
Good job.
Yeah, but Shavua Tov to you. And 646-712-0790. Shavua Tov.
And thank you
we
again,
cover everybody.
Label. Have a great night and a good week.
And remember, we're on about an hour earlier next week.
Next week.
Correct.
And also
Kabbalat
for anybody
Shabbat
who does
also.
Kabbalat Shabbat also.
Nice to see you all.
You too. You too. Be well.
Stay well. Be well.
Bye.
Bye.
Shavua Tov.